Animal shelters play an important role in our community by helping to give pets a second chance. But they're not always equipped to handle the needs of the youngest and most vulnerable, especially when it comes to orphaned kittens. Now, a local organization is working to fill that need. Few things in life are more adorable than the presence of kittens. Just ask Sam Jackson.
I'm constantly sending pictures out and posting stuff.
Cuteness is in abundance at her Maple Grove home, with about 20 tiny furry felines scampering around almost every room of her house.
I like to keep a couple different ages. I like older ones. I kind of like to cuddle and snuggle them, but then I also have the bottle babies, so I kind of like to have a little bit of a variety.
Jackson is one of 60 people volunteering to foster these kittens for the Bitty Kitty Brigade, a Twin Cities rescue organization that provides care for orphaned neonatal kittens in ways that big animal shelters cannot.
Caring for orphaned neonatal kittens, you do need to be able to feed them and care for them around the clock. So if you do have a full-time job, and a lot of us do have full-time jobs, you need to be able to work from home.
Joan Barrett is a co-founder of the Bitty Kitty Brigade.
A lot of them wouldn't make it. I mean, if they were left outside, even if they get into an animal control facility, I mean, they don't have staff there 24/7, so they can't provide care for them there, and that's when they reach out to rescue organizations.
Since March, she says the organization has taken in about 170 kittens, many of whom were at risk of dying or being euthanized.
This here is the incubator. So this would be our littlest baby. So we keep babies in here till they're 2 weeks old, and it just keeps them warm.
Every kitten taken in by the Bitty Kitty Brigade is paired with a trained volunteer who can provide the demanding care that's required. That's where Jackson comes in.
They alert each other that it's food time, so everybody's screaming.
Jackson recently took in a litter of kittens that were only 6 days old at the time of our visit.
Most of these age will eat about 3 meals. These guys have been pounding about 6 to 9.
In addition to keeping them warm,
Hi, baby.
she has to bottle feed them with the syringe filled with formula every couple of hours.
I think the younger, the easier. If they've been on mom's milk for a while, it can be kind of hard for them. They don't really like our fake milk as much.
After feeding time, she rubs their undersides with a baby wipe so they can answer nature's call.
They'll usually yell at you when they're pottying.
While it can be a lot of work, people who are part of the brigade say it's a worthwhile sacrifice, not only because of the cuteness factor, but because their work is helping to ensure that these kittens ultimately find a forever home.
So we keep all of them until they're about 12 weeks old. They get spayed, neutered, all of their vaccinations, rabies, microchipped, the whole works, and then they get adopted out.
These volunteers know that they're making a big difference.
Nothing more therapeutic than a kitten purring.
The Bitty Kitty Brigade is a nonprofit that relies on donations, so anyone who's interested in contributing money or supplies can find out more information on our website, ccxmedia.org. Skaters might notice a few changes at the Plymouth Ice Arena this month.
So right now we're in the process of doing lighting upgrades, so we are going to all LED lights in our entire facility, which should be completed by the end of this month.
Halverson says the new LED lights that will replace the fluorescent tubes will save money on energy costs. Sometime next spring, crews will also be replacing the boards in Rink B, which are 20 years old. Halverson says skaters are excited about the changes to the rink. Elm Creek Park Reserve is a popular year-round destination. Part of the appeal is the Eastman Nature Center. As Eric Nelson found out, this place has special meaning to some.
When I come here, I always enjoy the beauty on the drive here.
The winds of change are blowing in the northwest suburbs as housing and other development keeps popping up. That's why the Eastman Nature Center is critical to the area.
We have probably been up here at least 100 times over the past 5 years.
Eastman is a buffer, a slice of tranquility in the middle of a sprawling metropolis.
I grew up coming to this park.
Eastman has an up-north look and feel. It's an ideal spot to decompress.
As the Twin Cities grows, we're getting rid of more and more natural spaces, so this needs to be here for people to remember, this is kind of where we came from.
Good heavens, he said. I know what this is.
Emily Lang homeschools her kids and has made trips to Eastman part of their curriculum.
We bring our homeschool stuff out and we'll work inside and then come outside and, check out the mushrooms and the birds and whatever else we're trying to find that day.
I like to have a classroom where I can catch toads.
Lang and other parents believe Eastman is a valuable teaching resource.
Book learning is great, but being outside and experiencing it for yourself solidifies it, and it makes it more personal.
It means a lot. My kids can have the experience of nature without having to go too far.
Eastman also provides a natural habitat for critters who are getting squeezed by so-called progress.
It's important that we are able to be in nature. This was made by God, and so it's amazing to be able to go back to what He has originally made.
The Three Rivers Park District controls Eastman. Its mission is to protect natural areas like this one from development, so future generations have access to nature.
Being able to actually have a resource where they're learning from a naturalist and being in the environment is really beneficial.
At the Eastman Nature Center, I'm Eric Nelson, CCX News.
Maple Grove amateur photographers submitted more than 400 photos in this year's Maple Grove Moments photography contest. There were more than 7,000 votes cast to determine the winners in 5 categories. As we go to break, we'll show you some of the winning entries.
The Breck and Blake boys soccer teams are 2 of the best in Class A. They played an entertaining game this week. Breck ranked 3rd, trying to knock off #1 Blake. Breck's Walsh Kern sends a nice ball outside to Ralph Smits. His crossing pass is buried by Spencer Chapman, and Breck is up 1-0 15 minutes in. Blake's Keegan James scored a state tournament goal from midfield last season, and this one is almost as long as traffic in front bothers the keeper. The James shot is in, and it's 1-1. Late in the first half, 2 Breck defenders nearly collide, then Matthew Carlson's shot deflects off a defender's foot and in, as Blake takes a 2-1 lead into halftime. Second half, and Breck's David Gorman sends the long pass ahead, and Kern is onside. He avoids the keeper and scores. The game is tied up at 2-2, and it eventually goes to overtime. And in the first OT, Smits threads a great pass through, and Jake Silverman scores. Breck adds another on a penalty kick, and they beat top-ranked Blake 4-2. Defending State 3A volleyball champion Champlin Park has lost 6 matches this fall, but all to ranked teams. They looked for a win against Maple Grove earlier this week. Parents' night at Maple Grove as the Crimson hosted the Rebels. First set, and the Rebels' Taylor Hillman pushes it to an open spot on the court for a point and an early Champlin Park lead. The quick set goes to Sammy Hilly for the big swing and kill. She has 8 kills in the match. The Rebels take the first set 25-13. Second set, Maple Grove's Skylar Gray unloads for an early point in a much closer second set. Champlin Park's Jordan Stalpus is one of the better hitters around, and she attacks down the line here for a Rebels point. They win 25-22 to go up 2-0. She has 13 kills in the match. Early in the third set, Champlin Park's Megan Panzer delivers 3 straight ace serves to give the Rebels a 5-point lead. Jordan Lampker attacks from the right side for a Maple Grove point, but the Crimson can't come all the way back. Champlin Park wins 25-22 again to get the sweep. The Champlin Park girls soccer team is playing very well this season as they shoot for big things. It's so far so good for the Champlin Park girls soccer team. The Rebels enter Tuesday with a 6-0-1 record, with 4 of the 6 wins via shutout. They're ranked 10th in this week's state poll. They had a good feeling coming in that this team could excel.
Most of our team is comprised of returning players, and so I guess we would be pretty talented, but we definitely had a couple key players come in this year that have definitely changed us for the best.
I think coming into the season, we kind of expected to be one of the top competitors and very competitive, knowing that we did have very skilled players coming onto our team and returning to our team.
Former Hopkins girls coach Keith Pavelka took over as Rebels head coach this season. The players say it hasn't been a tough transition.
I think that a lot of us were nervous and kind of excited about getting a new coach, and I think that we're all super happy with how the season's turning out so far. Keith is trying to get us to do a more possession sort of game, and I think that we've been really working hard at that at practice, and it's really been turning out in the game.
It's been actually really easy having a new coach, and he's brought a lot of new ideas and new motivation to the team. A thing he really stresses is working hard every game and seeing how we can improve during this game and the next one and the next one, not just being okay with being okay with a win.
Champlin Park had a very strong season a year ago, starting 10-1 and ultimately going 13-4-1. They lost in the Section 5AA semifinals to Centennial. With Centennial and Maple Grove moving out of Section 5, the Rebels should have a good shot at a program first.
We definitely have state tournament goals in mind, and just one game at a time and trying to get to that section final so that we can get our first school history soccer berth into the state tournament.
For now, Champlin Park's just looking to play well game in and game out, and the results will come. The Rebels play at Coon Rapids Monday.